In his study, Vern Bates cites Ellen White's vision, entitled An Impressive Scene, as originally sourced in Testimonies Volume 9, published in the year 1909. He points out the fact that Evangelism, published in 1946, omits 2 entire paragraphs from this vision, thus making Evangelism an untrustworthy book in his opinion. But besides the fact that Testimonies Volume 9 is not the original source for this vision, it being first located in a letter written in 1904, Vern here, citing Testimonies Volume 9 as trustworthy and an original source, creates massive problems. If you've already seen the first few videos on this topic, then you will already know that Vern Bates alleges that the books of the Conflict of Ages series, such as The Desire of Ages, are fabrications produced in Ellen White's good name. But citing and trusting Testimonies Volume 9 as a good and trustworthy source forces a contradiction to that idea. Here's how. Testimonies Volume 9 repeatedly uplifts 2 specific books. The first being Christ's Object Lessons, and the second, Ministry of Healing. The book Ministry of Healing repeatedly quotes from Desire of Ages, as can be seen in numerous examples on pages 26, 31, 40, 67, 77, 87, 90, 100, 233, 333, and 480. This, being a list of examples, is not a complete list, as there are more pages than these. What would make this more alarming for those who don't trust Desire of Ages is that Ministry of Healing doesn't ever tell you when it's quoting from Desire of Ages. It just does it. But if reading straight through Desire of Ages is dangerous, then reading straight through Ministry of Healing is also dangerous. But if reading through Ministry of Healing is dangerous, then what does that mean for Testimonies Volume 9? Herein lies the law of unintended consequences. If it is believed that Ellen White uplifted Ministry of Healing, then it must also be believed that Ellen White was perfectly fine with that book repeatedly quoting Desire of Ages, a book that is claimed to be edited and uninspired. But if it is claimed that she did not write about Ministry of Healing in a positive manner, then not only do you now have problems with Testimonies Volume 9, you also have a problem every single time Ministry of Healing is mentioned in a positive manner, such as the multiple times it comes up in the Review and Herald. This would only add to the list of untrustworthy quotes mentioned in the previous video, and thus create more distrust in Ellen White's writings. Some may attempt to take a middle ground stance here in regards to reading and quoting from Ministry of Healing. But if you don't believe that Ellen White wrote these things, yet you are okay with quoting them, then you are okay with willfully quoting books from writers whom you declare to be either apostates or Jesuits. Believe it or not, it gets worse. According to Selected Messages Volume 3, since Desire of Ages was so large, being an 835-page book, some of the overflow of material was put into 2 additional books. Those books are Thoughts from the Mount of Blessing and Christ's Object Lessons. I will not repeat all that I just explained for Ministry of Healing, but the same logic that applies to Ministry of Healing would also apply to these 2 books as well. Where does all this end? With the additional rejection of these books, you will actually only end up in the rejection of more light from heaven. Those who are being led to turn away from Ellen White's writings know not whither their feet are being led. You are being prepared to accept further delusions. As you consistently wipe away more and more of Sister White's writings, the warnings, the reproofs, and the lessons contained in these writings, being rejected, will have you unprepared for the delusions of the last days, unprepared for the mark of the beast, and unprepared for the day of God. You need to repent, lest Satan takes you further in this delusion, and you are eternally lost. Thank you for watching. God bless.